Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Triple Double Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Fitzgerald. With me today are my two co-hosts, Cam McKee.
Here as always.
And Hunter Nisley.
What's going on, guys? The third episode of the Triple Double Podcast.
Yeah, it is.
We got the Miami Heat going up today, my favorite team, so I'm ready to rip into them for their awful decisions this offseason.
Oh my God. Well, I can't wait to see what Hunter has in store for us whenever the Miami Heat are up. But yes, we are covering the Southeast Division of the Eastern Conference. But before we get into the episode today, I would like to say that we have some very special announcements coming soon. Our YouTube channel will officially be up probably sometime midweek this week. So, if you're interested in subscribing to us on YouTube, if you're tired of going to the website, if you just want one app for all your Triple Double Podcast needs, YouTube is the way to go. We will have it all uploaded, I would say probably by Wednesday at the latest. So, with that being said, let's dive in. We're going to go into the Southeast Division, like I said. We're going to go with the Orlando Magic, Charlotte Hornets, Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks, and finishing off with the Washington Wizards, the Wiz. But with that being said, let's go into the Orlando Magic. Shelvin Mack, Jonathan Simmons, Aaron Aflalo, Jonathan Isaac, and Maurice Spates sort of round out the key additions on this Magic team. And fellas, I don't know. I wish I could see what the Magic are doing. They've made so many poor decisions in the past, and I think that their new GM is kind of seeing the value in signing players to reasonable contracts as opposed to overpaying them to come down to Orlando and just waste time and wins. But with that being said, you have a decent mix of youth and veterans. You got a nice coach in Frank Vogel, but there's no cap space here. There's absolutely no cap space. You're giving up Vucevic, you're giving up Biyombo, and they're just eating up your cap space when you can go and you can have it moving forward to grow Jonathan Simmons and your Aaron Gordons and stuff like that to have the ability of a better franchise.
You know, I think the Magic just need to start over again. Even they started over when they traded Dwight Howard, and I mean they've had good draft picks. And it has turned into their best player possibly being Aaron Gordon, or who is the best player on this team?
Evan Fournier.
Fournier. I mean,
AKA don't Google because of his last name. Never Google it.
They're just mediocre. I mean, they signed like Aaron Aflalo, Spates, Shelvin Mack. I like Jonathan Isaac so far. He seems like he could be at least maybe their best player in a few years, but
a nice 3-and-D. I don't know. His ceiling seems rather low to me.
It's not,
but his production
could have picked Dennis Smith
be
Jr.
very nice. Dennis Smith Jr. Man.
All these guys could have picked Dennis Smith Jr.
I think the Magic just need to start taking two steps back to go one step forward.
Yeah.
They're just not. They need, like Hunter said, they need to start over. I think they're in a bad place.
I think so too, and I think that front office change that they just had by bringing in a new president of basketball operations. They brought in John Hammond. I forget where he was from, but he should be the guy to help look and rebuild and hit that rebuild button, I would say, and just the Magic. The Magic.
They're just bad. They're just bad.
They're stuck in no man's land, man.
They're gonna win 25 games this year. They're gonna have like the 7th pick or something, and they're gonna pick another guy who's just gonna be an average player in the NBA. That's just the.
Well, I think that they also
it's what they do.
4 or 5 years now.
They don't develop their draft picks.
They don't.
I feel like I don't know if it's like
Eric
the way
Gordon
that they're
still has
coached.
a chance to be a solid young player, but I mean, as of right now, he's.
Well,
take
take a look at their last couple picks. You have Elfrid Payton, who needs to develop a jump shot in order to be effective. He can play pretty well defensively. He can move the ball pretty effectively, but without that jumper, defenses are gonna sag off of him. They take a look at Aaron Gordon. Now he's got some potential, but I think that's pretty much just all based upon his athleticism, and I think that's all him. I don't think that's any magic. And then you take a look at Mario Hezonja, who they took a little bit of a chance on last year.
Very rough.
The problem with the Magic are, and the reason they're having these problems with the rookies why they're not developing is right away they're being thrown into big roles that they need them to fill, which isn't giving them time to develop. And I'm afraid that's what's going to happen with Jonathan Isaac here too. They're going to expect too much of him for this first season.
I don't know. I mean, like, kind of throwing your rookies into the fire can help. I guess it could backfire, but I think for the most part,
they had maybe this year they've got a few more veterans like Afflalo, like a Spates. Maybe that'll help those young guys a little bit. But man, Orlando's just not a team I'd want to be on, coach for, or be associated with at this point. Like,
they are a very poorly run organization. I think KD called them out whenever they were talking about not having parity in the league because of Kevin Durant going to the Warriors, and he was like, "Am I the reason the Magic have like stayed between like the 7th and the 10th pick like for the past 4 years?"
It's bad.
It's just poorly run organization.
Ever since Dwight
from the
Howard's
top
been
down.
gone, it's just been it's so downhill. Dwight Howard's last year to now has just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse.
And we're trashing them here, and they're probably not even going to end up being the worst team in this division.
I know,
No,
right?
At the end of the season, they won't be.
They have a lot of like average, like, or not average, kind of like slightly below
Mediocre.
average mediocre players they're not the worst team in the league, but they're certainly have no shot at making the playoffs.
They're the Jaguars of the NBA.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Although
a-
Jaguars
Don't sleep on those Jags, man. Shad Khan, the owner, the
Hey.
OG.
They're just gonna run the ball. They're not gonna let Blake Bortles throw the ball. That's for sure.
Well,
I love Blake Bortles,
He's a
but that's
turnover
that's for a
an
different
NBA
podcast.
podcast.
This is
okay.
the Triple Double podcast. We're gonna stick solely to the NBA, and I think that all that's really been said about the Magic has been said, and I don't want to waste any more time
They're
on
bad.
this.
They're just bad. That's,
Moving on and upwards to a team that could be very interesting this year, the Charlotte Hornets.
Best thing about them is their new uniforms. in my
Really?
opinion. I do like their uniforms.
Oh
If
my!
they have the
That's
team
good to
sporting
know.
the Jordan brand.
Supporting the Jordan brand. Yeah, they drafted Malik Monk. A lot of people think that he fell. I'm not a big fan of Malik Monk, especially if you're going to pick him that high. But I think getting the value there at 13 for what could be a volume scorer off the bench is really nice. They traded for Dwight Howard, who is Dwight Howard. You never really know anymore. He could be, put up 15 points and like 10 rebounds, or he could like give you like 3 points and 4 rebounds. And then they brought in Michael Carter Williams to play that backup point guard role.
Didn't they sign Dwayne Bacon?
Yeah, they drafted him last year.
Did they draft
or this
him?
year?
Okay.
They drafted him like 51st overall.
He's not showing up on here. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I was gonna say is they got a lot of like big names in the draft. Not exactly like names that may be great, but like names that people know.
Yeah, they're bringing
names.
more. Yeah, they're bringing in more of that brand to kind of deal, because I don't think that like you're not gonna sell out seats with Cody Zeller. You know what I mean? Like nobody comes to the Hornets arena looking for the Cody Zeller jerseys. out there.
I was on Twitter the other day. I read an article claiming that Cody Zeller statistically is the best center in the league.
He actually, I'm not gonna lie, like I ripped Cody Zeller like 30 seconds ago, but I really like Cody Zeller. He defensively.
Just because you don't want to see him doesn't mean he's not
Yeah,
good.
it doesn't mean he's not good. But his defensive presence is remarkable. Last season, he posted like on a box plus minus defensively. He was plus 2.3, which is absolutely insane considering like.
Really good.
No, it's pretty good.
It's about a 1.
Yeah, I mean like Avery Bradley, who Cam's in love with, is like majoring around the 2 range, around the 1.7, 1.5. So being Cody Zeller and having that rim protection,
Is Cody Zeller the most underrated player in the league?
he might be the most underrated center in the league, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go player, but
No,
he's definitely underrated.
I kind of like this team a little bit.
I love Kemba Walker.
Kemba
I
Walker's a
love
great
Nicholas
point guard.
Batum. I love Michael Kidd Gilchrist. This is a team that if like all the pieces would come together, they could compete. Obviously not like I'm not talking conference finals, but like in the playoffs.
No, they're a
First,
tough
second
team to
round.
play
Fighting,
against.
yeah.
Exactly. They're tough. They're a team you don't really want to play.
Yes, yeah.
You know, Kemba's been playing well. Nicholas Batum's he's that great role player on your team. You know, he's going to do what he needs to do. Good defender, good 3-point shooter. I kind of like Dwight Howard on this team a little bit.
We'll see.
I think he's going to know his role, and I think he's just going to embrace it.
I don't know if he's going to start. I think they might start Cody Zeller over him, or if they bring Cody Zeller down to the 4, which wouldn't make much sense, in my opinion, because he's so slow and he won't be able to. But defensively, rim protection,
I like Malik Monk. They got him at what was it, 13?
11, 13, something like that.
11.
Out of the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, if for the 11th pick, I mean, he was probably the best player available. Why not take him?
I would say so.
Yeah,
and I think coming off the bench with the shooting, I think he shot like 40-something% in college.
Yeah, he was a good shooter. Nice. He was a volume scorer for Kentucky. He kind of reminds me a little bit of a guy they have on their team already, Jeremy Lamb. I think he's going to be a little bit better than Jeremy Lamb.
I hope he'd be better than Jeremy Lamb. It wouldn't be that hard.
Hey, don't hate on Jeremy Lamb.
Oh, I'll hate on who I want.
But Frank Kaminsky, he was a very interesting player last year. He was
either alright or he was really, really bad.
Not really any.
Well, I think that goes back to his college days. He was either
he's awkward
on or way off.
When he hits, he hits. Same for Malik Monk. So you never really. I don't know. Same for like a lot of these guys. Like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist can't find a jump shot to save his life, but he's a great defender. Marvin Williams, you never know if he's going to show up.
Marvin Williams, that's
Dwight Howard, you never know what's going to happen to him. Cody Zeller's just going to be good defensively, but he's like terrible on the offensive end. Michael Carter-Williams
Williams, rookie of the year.
Has gone way, way down.
Well, it's because he can't shoot. He doesn't have a jump shot. He's like 6'6", and he doesn't have a jump shot.
If he can get that mid-range jumper, though, don't you think he could be a Sean Livingston type guy?
He could be a Sean Livingston type guy. He plays pretty good defense. He had a lot of problems with turnovers, but he's kind of cut down on that now. I would say that this team is really hit or miss. Like when they're on fire, they're gonna be really tough to play against. But like some of these times, like it's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be rough. They're gonna have good days and bad days.
Yeah.
Overall, I have a feeling they're going to make the playoffs.
I think they'll make the playoffs. I think so too. In the East, yeah.
I was surprised that they didn't last year.
Yeah.
They just kind of fell apart. They started picking it up towards the end of the year, but they just could never,
They didn't put the pieces together. And so we'll see. I think that once we find a little bit more parity within their league, like within the league itself, like players aren't forming the super teams, and once we exit the super team era, however soon that might be, if it's in the coming years, you might be able to see Charlotte on a more competitive scale.
Yeah, they're still young.
I don't know if we're
they have a solid timeline. Mm-hmm. Everybody on their roster right now fits what they're doing with their timeline. They don't really have a mix of young guys and veterans. They're all on the same
I don't know when we're getting out of the super team league though.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen obviously the Warriors are all basically in their primes. They've got a long time.
When we get harder on the luxury tax, that's when the super team era does.
Yeah, but that's not what the NBA's.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah. Well, that's not what the NBA is focused on. They're focusing on reforming the draft lottery instead of working on the luxury tax. But that's another topic for another day. Oh, man, Charlotte Hornets, man. I'll tell you what. Moving on, the Miami Heat. Hunter, tell us all about the Miami Heat.
I do not know what the Miami Heat are doing. Pat Riley in the past, he's been known, he's brought in great players. He brought in LeBron James. He brought in Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, they signed so many bad contracts this offseason. They signed Kelly Olynyk to a 4-year deal. Dion Waiters to a 4-year deal. James Johnson to a 4-year deal. I think last year they signed Tyler Johnson to a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
Josh Richardson to a 4-year deal. Why are they signing all these guys to long contract? These average players to long contracts.
I think what it is because Miami is a free agent big market.
Big market, and they're at a cap room for 4 years.
Right. So they'd have to be able to move, and we knew that, especially if they were going to bring on Gordon Hayward. I think they would have had to move a couple of different contracts around in order to do that. But I think that Pat Riley can do that. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to put a good enough product out there to show that they have the capability to bring on another superstar and pair in. I think that's what they're doing. I mean, it's hard to say what they're doing, but if it would be anything, if they were geniuses, I would say that that's exactly what they're doing.
I know it. Yeah, it's just been, man. Justice Winslow has not really looked very good. He's been awful offensively. If he's even playing, he's been injured a lot. Josh Richardson, he was a solid second-round pick, but he's not worth the contract he was just given.
No.
We select Bam Adebayo in the draft.
I like that pick.
Him. I like him. I really, really wanted John Collins, but I mean. I guess we can settle for Bam Adebayo.
He looked pretty good in the summer league.
He looked pretty good, but
excuse me.
I think Miami's kind of in the same, at least for next year, the same position as Charlotte, kind of that like
fighting for a
almost there, yeah,
roughly. You
know,
they
started. I'd say Charlotte's in a better position.
They had a really interesting season last year. They were 11-30,
and then they went
second
30
half of
and
the
11.
season. They went 30-11. Almost made
nuts.
the playoffs. Came down to the last.
Yeah, they went
season.
like 41-41. So
yeah, they did. It came down to literally the last game.
Oh my god!
And it just didn't go the Miami Heat way.
That's night. Like, I don't know. I felt like if you start the season 11-30, you should have just tanked and gotten like somebody big in the draft. But you know, whatever. I don't understand. I kind of understand the Adebayo pick, but what I don't understand is getting the Adebayo pick and then signing Kelly Olynyk. Like,
yeah, it just doesn't.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean,
if you're just trying to develop him,
we are in a trend where you have one big game. I said with Bismack Biyombo, Kelly Olynyk,
one good, the Celtics in that
not
game
even a good playoff game, a playoff quarter. One good quarter. Bismack Biyombo, one good game in the conference finals 2 years ago. They ride that game, that quarter, that
they
play,
give it leverage, yeah,
and people eat it up. Like those GMs eat it up
for
some reason.
Pacers for one postseason.
Yeah. What?
Roy Hibbert.
Yeah, Roy Hibbert.
Yeah.
It's just and it never works out. Like Kelly Olynyk's not going to work out at Miami.
Bismack Biyombo
has
been nice,
be an
but he hasn't
player,
out.
but like it just doesn't make sense to me. I just don't understand.
Not worth what they paid for.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
No, it's
Although I mean, if Miami meets up with Boston in the playoffs, I mean, Kelly Olynyk may just go off again, destroy your Boston Celtics.
Okay,
I don't know.
We'll see when that.
I wouldn't put anything past Goran Dragic. I like him a lot.
Yeah, Dragic, he's a heck of a guy. You know,
I think Dion Waiters is going to be a really good
the MVP of the league last year for about a week stretch.
I think that he could sustain
Did he get
that
his
season long.
contract?
Oh, he got his contract. He got paid.
Mm-hmm.
He got paid.
Yep.
But yeah, Miami Heat really unsure. I guess I'd say that like if you had the Miami Heat, you'd put a question mark at the end of it. It'd be like Miami
what
Heat
they've done in the past.
Yeah. Moving on to the Atlanta Hawks.
Easily, this will be the biggest fall of a team
in
between last year and this year.
I would say so. They added in John Collins and Tyler Dorsey. They signed Dwayne Dedmon. Obviously, they lost Dwight Howard, who we already covered. They lost Paul Millsap to the West Coast, and they lost Tim Hardaway Jr. to the Knicks. But I would say that I really like what they're doing. They have made the decision to hit the rebuild button. They're doing it effectively, and they're doing it right. This season, they have the Minnesota Timberwolves pick lottery protected. I think the Timberwolves are going to make the playoffs. I'd imagine that you guys agree.
Yeah.
They have another pick. I believe it's another pick that's lottery protected, but it's another great team. So they're gonna end up with 3 first-rounders this year, including their own. So I think by being able to do that and bring in multiple assets, multiple draft picks, multiple players, I think that you're looking at a team that's in the rebuild process, but they're doing it.
They're doing it
well.
The right way.
They're doing it well, right, especially in a top-heavy draft this year.
Yeah, they've got 3 first-round picks this year. They signed some guys like Dwayne Dedmon. He played really, really well for San Antonio last year. They still have Dennis Schroeder, who's still. He looks like, especially last year, he kind of had a breakout year. He looked like a more proven point guard. Taurean Prince is another young guy they have. They drafted John Collins, who I really love. So yeah. I like the direction they're headed. I think it was definitely time for them to start rebuilding because they just weren't going anywhere with Paul Millsap. So
I like the addition of Tyler Dorsey too. Tyler Dorsey can be a nice
tournament.
They're just it's not enough for next year. They don't have enough people, I guess to say, not enough manpower to win enough games.
Yeah, I would say so.
They're gonna get a good pick.
They have the Houston pick. They have Houston's pick.
Yeah, they're gonna be in the Michael Porter sweepstakes possibly.
Yeah,
Marvin Bagley, dude.
Marvin
Bagley's the man.
What's his name? Luka Doncic.
Michael Porter Jr., Marvin Bagley are some of the top names.
A lot of guys coming out next year.
It's very top heavy though, so it's very important to get a big.
Yeah, but like
especially if the NBA decides to mess up this whole lottery system and penalize the teams that already suck. Could be very interesting. Hawks, they're going to put out a below average lineup. They're going to lose a lot of games, but they're gonna add somebody who's gonna be exciting, I'd imagine. They a lot of cool names to watch. John Collins, definitely.
John Collins.
Hey, if you're excited,
one of the most efficient college scorers last year.
Yeah.
If you're excited about that draft class, just wait till LaMelo Ball and
God.
Zion
No.
Williamson.
Can't wait to see
the greatest
Ball
draft
literally
class of all time.
do nothing. If he makes it to the NBA, do nothing in the NBA.
Of course, he's making it to the NBA. He's on the Lakers.
He's gonna be on the Lakers
because they're gonna win the NBA Finals by that point, and so they're gonna get the 30th pick, and obviously no one's gonna pick LaMelo until that point, and he'll fall right into there.
LaMelo's not gonna work out for any other team except the Lakers.
No, only the Lakers.
Yeah. Well, it comes down to our last team, the Wiz, Washington, the Washington Wizards. They brought back Otto Porter because they pretty much had to.
Yeah,
I love Otto Porter.
I do not
love Otto Porter.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
think that the amount of money that you're spending on him, I think the contract that had to be signed by him and matched, I think the Brooklyn Nets absolutely crippled the Washington Wizards. I think there's a 15% trade kicker.
Oh, they did a great job of just upping the price on them.
Oh my god.
Like that. Not talking about
not
talking money wise.
This
not
is the
talking
second year in a
about.
row they've done something like this.
Not talking about the
Maybe they have a
Wizards.
plan.
Not talking about the Wizards. Not talking about
every other team.
Money. I like Otto Porter.
I like him as a player.
Yes,
I don't
that's
like
what
him
I'm
on
talking
a max
about.
Contract.
I'm not talking about the contract. I'm talking about him
He's a
as
good
a
player. He's probably
solid
maybe the
player.
best 3-and-D player in the league. But for what was it, $110 million, I really do not like Otto Porter for that much.
And then they just signed John Wall, so they're kind of putting their money where their mouth is. They brought in.
They're gonna get
they
to the
traded
second
Tim-
round and lose every year with this team.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're what I call unfortunate contenders. So if something unfortunate happens to another team, they instantly go into the sweepstakes. So Kyrie Irving breaks his ankle, LeBron James gets hit by a bus. Something like that. Something crazy. It's right.
The
he might break a bus.
The Wizards would probably still find a way to lose in the second round. That's just the team they are.
They need to stay healthy. They
John
need to
choked
Wall
in Game
does not
7.
show up in big games.
They had the Celtics down on the ground in the second round, and they choked in Game 7.
They choked so hard. But I think they were very tired. I think that they were going hard for the entire
Serious
season.
question: How did the Celtics even make the conference finals? If Rajon Rondo didn't get injured, they were about to get swept by the Bulls. They were basically manhandled by the Wizards for a while.
So, I'll answer that. They looked exhausted. They didn't look ready for the playoffs at all.
I don't think they didn't have that second gear that most.
This
teams
year
go
is going to
into
be
for playoff
different,
mode.
though.
I'd
'Cause,
agree with that. They have a lot more time.
They have a lot more time. And
I think they understand that they're going to make the playoffs no matter what. So they'll do a little bit of what the Cavs are going to do, and they're going to coast a little bit. Yeah. I think that their offseason is nice. They added in a lot of good bench players, which is what I think this team really needed. I think they had their starting lineup solidified. They brought in Jody Meeks. They brought in Tim Frazier. They brought in Mike Scott. They brought in Donald Sloan. And I think those guys off the bench...
it's definitely going to help Washington.
It's going
to take a lot of pressure off of their starters.
And I think that's really where they disappear in those big games is because the stars are so tired. But by being able to have a better bench and be a deeper team, then you can help your stars stay healthy. You can help your stars achieve more in the playoffs. And I think that it's time to see the Washington Wizards take that next step. I like them a lot. They need to play a little bit better defense, and I need to...
Second round.
Second round?
Yeah, second round.
We'll
Guarantee
see.
it. I'll bet on that.
Completely unrelated here. Did you know Marcus and Markieff Morris are set to have an assault trial?
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's starting this Monday. They were indicted and accused of helping 3 other people beat up some guy in the Phoenix Recreation Center.
Oh my. So, that's spicy.
that article popped up on the Wizards page.
Oh yeah.
So I just had to share that.
Oh well.
Not a good look for the Morris twins.
No.
But neither of them are on the Wizards anymore.
No, they traded both of them.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't trade both of them. They traded the one and they got rid of the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I think the Wizards definitely an interesting team to watch. I definitely Markieff Morris is definitely on this team.
Yeah, Markieff
yeah.
Marcus left.
They trade
Marcus is on the Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Markieff still there.
Yeah.
I thought you said. Didn't you say that he didn't? They didn't have either of the Morris twins on the Wizards.
I didn't know that for a fact. I was wrong.
Cam. Well, with that little Morris twin mix-up, I will.
They're the same player. They play as each other. It's a conspiracy.
It's actually just one guy that switched games. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, with that being said, today was September 17th. This Sunday. This has been the Triple Double Podcast. I'm Eddie Fitzgerald.
I'm Cam McKee.
I'm Hunter Nicely.
And have a great day, everybody. Make sure you check out that YouTube channel midweek.